Welcome to 1000 PS TV. At first sight, the extra charge for the S version of the Moto Guzzi V100 Mandello is quite steep, but a closer look can turn it into a bargain for one or the other. Check out the analysis after the comparison test. There are many similarities between the V100 and V100S. Already at the beginning of the year, we had the V100S in an intensive test in Spain. Thali describes the charismatic, newly developed, water-cooled engine including 4 freely configurable riding mode. The well-biting brakes, the naked bike-like seating position, and the effect of the electronically adjustable windshield so accurately that it only remains for me to refer to it. However, I disagree with him on one feature that the V100 and V100S share. Depending on the driving mode, always from a freely selectable speed between 30 and 95 km per hour or never, extending flaps offer real added value at higher speeds and in bad weather. I don't want to accuse the colleague of being a fair weather driver, but he was just really lucky with the weather during his Barcelona week. I, on the other hand, was allowed to test on Austrian highways even in the rain and can attest to the wind deflectors a real added value. The knees and thighs, but also the center of the body, are well taken out of the airstream and thus also out of the rain by the flaps. Conversely, it makes a noticeable difference at high outside temperatures whether cooling driving air reaches the driver or not. The adaptive aerodynamic system, as Moto Guzzi grandly calls it, is therefore not just for show, but a considerable step forward in terms of riding comfort and suitability for touring. The differences between the Moto Guzzi V100 and V100S at a glance. Overall, the S version differs from the base Guzzi in 5 features. Quickshifter, Moto Guzzi connectivity MIA, heated grips, TPMS tire pressure monitoring system, all-in suspension semi-active and electronically adjustable. The price difference between the Moto Guzzi V100 and V100S in Austria is €3,000, in Germany €2,500 and in Switzerland 2,600 francs. Moto Guzzi's first quickshifter does not perform properly. So 2023 is the first model year in which the traditional Italian brand offers a shift assistant. This enables upshifting and downshifting without a clutch, as far as the theory goes. In practice, the quickshifter's debut is quite noticeable. You sometimes end up between the gears or shifting is not even possible. Finding neutral is as likely as winning the lottery. So some fine-tuning will be necessary in the future to ensure a satisfactory function. To the engineers in Mandello del Lario's credit, the conditions for an automatic gear shift on the vehicle were not easy. The still rough longitudinal V2 in combination with the cardan drive are undoubtedly not an ideal basis, and even renowned manufacturers fail with the combination of cardan and quickshifter. Here would be the attempts of BMW in the Boxer models, and in the recent past of Triumph in the Big Tiger to mention, and that, although BMW and especially Triumph in other models almost perfectly act in quickshifter install. For €190 extra, the shift assistant is also available as an accessory for the standard version of the V100. Money that you can save. Moto Guzzi connectivity MIA is tidy and intuitive. When it comes to connectivity, opinions are still divided even among long-distance motorcyclists. Some say that without the possibility to connect the beloved smartphone with the bike, the candidate falls directly out of the choice. The others think something like that has no place on a motorcycle. At Moto Guzzi, both find what they are looking for. A Moto Guzzi MIA connectivity system is part of the standard equipment of the V100 Mandello S. As this technology makes it possible to connect the smartphone to the onboard electronics via Bluetooth. This allows the rider to get summary statistics about each ride and manage calls, messages and music without ever having to take their hands off the handlebars. Basically, it should be said that the function is now impeccable. Even pilots who opt for the standard variant can enjoy the perfectly readable TFT screen and can still retrofit MIA for €179. Here I give no judgment whether the feature makes sense. Everyone can and should decide for themselves whether it is worth the extra cost. I can work through the point heated grips quickly. Here it depends on the purpose and period of use. All those which want to use the V100 for traveling and are all year round do not come from my view around this investment, particularly since the Guzzi in both variants, probably for aesthetic reasons, without handguards. TPMS tire pressure monitoring system. This situation is somewhat different with the tire pressure monitoring system. On the one hand, it is a safety feature that can prevent accidents. On the other hand, attentive checking before driving will hopefully reveal any defects anyway, and in the event of a sudden loss of pressure, the system cannot do anything either. In addition to these general considerations, the tire pressure in the S version was only displayed correctly in phases on the test machine. Some error messages and checks at gas stations later, I had to come to terms with the fact that it is better not to rely on the Moto Guzzi TPMS. The surcharge is €249 and in the range of functions that the test machine offered, I cannot give a recommendation for the tire pressure monitoring system. Semi-active Öhlins suspension for €1,604. In my opinion, this is how Moto Guzzi in Germany could excellently advertise the V100S. If you add the retrofit costs of the other features of the S version and then subtract them from the surcharge, you're left with exactly €1,604 extra for a cutting-edge top-of-the-line suspension. That's a deal you won't see again in a hurry. If you want to enjoy the Öhlins Smart EC 2.0 suspension, you have to pay a lot more. Names like Fireblade, Chuono Factory or Panigale V4S spring to mind. On the positive side, the balancing act between comfort and sportiness, which only a semi-active suspension can offer, is even more pronounced on a touring bike than on track day rockets like an RS V4. The adjustment possibilities of the Öhlins suspension are manifold. Roughly summarized, it offers 2 automatic modes and 2 manual modes. In A1 and A2, the setup can be adjusted up and down from the base value in 5 steps each, while M1 and M2 allow adjustments in no less than 31 levels. The only component that is not electronically adjustable is the spring preload in the rear, for which a handwheel is provided on the left side of the vehicle. The difference to the standard suspension is striking. This is also adjustable, but you need tools for it. The basic setup of the conventional suspension is rather on the taut side. So tight, in fact, that bumps are felt relatively unfiltered in the discs. Comfort-conscious drivers will not find the surcharge due for the S version a deterrent. Sporty drivers with a rather one-dimensional field of application, on the other hand, can save themselves the extra cost. Overall, with my requirements profile, I wouldn't hesitate for a second and invest the extra euros in the S version. What else is there to know about the Guzzi V100 and V100S? The payload in both versions is 210 kilograms, so the Guzzis are basically absolutely suitable as a touring motorcycle for two. However, the pillion passenger should not be too tall. The knee angle in row 2 is rather acute and the space is also limited. Moto Guzzi quotes a ready-to-ride weight of 233 kilograms for both versions of the V100 Mandello. Due to the considerable extra equipment of the S, including electronic chassis, I could hardly believe that, so we put the 2 Sport Tourers filled to the brim on the 1000 PS cow scales. The result, at 240 kilograms, the S version is actually only half a kilogram heavier than the standard variant with its 239.5 kilograms. Conclusion on the Moto Guzzi V100 Mandello 2023. The cheaper alternative to the V100S brings a lot of the good features of the luxury sister and comes with the visually more interesting rims. A successful sports tourer that stands out from the crowd without showing Italian capers. The suspension is too tight for a touring bike, but otherwise it's hard to find a fly in the ointment. Conclusion on the Moto Guzzi V100 Mandello S 2023. Moto Guzzi doesn't want to push the V100 Mandello S into the sport tourer segment, and talks about a roadster suitable for touring. And in fact it's more of a naked bike in terms of its comfortable riding position and agile handling, with its electrically adjustable windshield giving it a surprising amount of touring character. The unique flaps are probably only noticeable at very low temperatures, but the engine perfectly matches the sovereign appearance and the brakes are bravura tuned. Finally, the S version spoils the rider with a standard quickshifter including blipper, heated grips, MI communication system, tire pressure control, and the electronically adjustable Öhlins Smart EC 2.0 suspension. Asking just under 20,000 euros for this may therefore only seem hefty at first glance. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the test, give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned and see you next time.